live on this morning. Want to thank everybody for joining in on today. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about my guest, my friend, been knowing for quite some time. She is an author, a writer. Look, it's always good when you in the house with authors, and we just thank God for that. And so without further introduction, I want to introduce my guest, author Michelle Elisa Drew, and her new book, Love Made Me Wait. And I know she will give some information about it where y'all can be able to obtain a copy of this book. I'm excited about it. And so, welcome to another episode of Transparency with none other than your girl, Dr. Yo. We are on Forever Rhema Gospel Radio. You can follow us on Live 365. If you're in another state across the country, look, you cannot miss us. You cannot miss us over here at Forever Rhema. So I'm excited. So, how you been?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Well, tell us what you've been up to. How's everything been going? I'm excited about your visit on today.
I have been really busy with ministry since the release of my new book. I actually launched it back in December. So, God has been opening doors. Love made me wait. It took me a minute to do it, but it's finally here. It's been a journey.
Wow. I like the title of it, and y'all know we gonna use biblical references. Y'all know John 3:16. I think we're all familiar with that. About how the Father loved us and He gave His only Son for us. And let me tell you something. When I think about love made me wait, I'm thinking about the Father's love and so many wonderful things. But life circumstances happen as well to make you just wait, all right? And so we're thankful today for my sister, my friend, to have this amazing exclusive interview with her about her book to just be a blessing to so many. But remember this, God loves you, and so do we. First of all, I want to talk about what inspired you to write this book.
It started out being a sermon.
Wow.
Back in 2007, it was a message I was requested to speak at a conference.
Wow.
And I was given the title, Love. That was my subject.
Wow.
And of course, the Lord gave me the story of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, and how when they sent to Jesus, when they sent word to Him, the Bible says that He stayed where He was. The Bible said He loved them, but He made them wait. And so that's where the title actually comes from, Love Made Me Wait.
Wow. You got one of these good scriptures in here in the beginning where it talks about dedication, and it talks about, like we was talking about, the love of the Father. But this one here, Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Most importantly, she trained me in the ways of the Lord, and for that I am and will be eternally grateful. She's talking about mommy.
Yes.
A mother's love, listen to me, is like no other. Your mother is with you through your highs, your lows, your ins, your outs, your good, your bads. I mean, they got your back even when you go through challenges in life. Mommy, I call my mama Mama. I think I'm the only one of her children that calls her Mama. Everybody else is Mother, but I'm the only one that has the unique saying to call her Mama. So she know when I'm calling, it's all about Mama.
And I say Mommy.
Wow. Wow.
Mommy.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So, getting off into the inspiration of your writing, and let's talk about something about sacrifices. What does sacrifices mean to you when it comes to love?
Let me say this. I think that being a Christian, and before I really came to know what it was, what a sacrifice really was, when I was in the world, sacrifice now means something totally different.
Wow.
Sacrifice means to give everything of yourself, even when the other person is not giving back to you. That's what sacrifice means, and that's really what Jesus did.
Yeah.
He sacrificed and he gave. The Bible says, while we were yet sinners,
Come on here.
that he died for us.
Yes.
And so that means giving everything of myself when I'm not getting anything back, and that's difficult for us to do in our humanness.
Oh,
because being human, we want something back. If I do this for you,
yeah,
I have an expectation that you're going to do something for me.
Yeah.
So sacrifice now, and I'm still growing into that, as we all are when it comes to sacrifice.
Yes.
About giving and not having an expectation of getting back. And that's difficult. It's hard, but that's
very
what
much,
it means.
I mean, very much so, because even with our children, even with spouses, sometimes it can be very, very challenging.
Yes.
And that's in any relationship.
Yes.
The love that you have is unconditional. It reminds me of Jesus' love for us, that agape, never-ending, unconditional love, just willing to just give, and make sacrifices. And sometimes on the other end of that, people are not always grateful
True.
for the sacrifices that we give them.
True. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is your perspective on that? Let's kind of dive into that a little bit.
It is. I remember once, I'll share this with you. There was a time when I was married, and there was a young lady that was actually attending our church at the time, and she needed a place to live, and so we allowed her to come and live in our home, and she was living there, and she was on the verge of getting some money. She had an insurance settlement that was coming, and her family had actually put her out before, and so that's why she needed a place to live. And she got this lump sum of money, and it was $100,000.
Wow!
So it was big money. Yeah, it was big money. So it wasn't something small. It was something that had been like held up from when she was a kid, and she got old enough and found out where it was, and so she got this money. And she left, and we had never asked her for anything. She left and didn't give us anything. And I was, at that point, early on in my relationship, of course, with God, immaturity, I was offended.
Wow.
And most people would say, well, you had every right to be. But did I really? What was my motive behind helping her? Was it because I expected something back?
Wow.
And my pastor at the time said, Sister Michelle, when you do things for people, you can't always expect for them to be able to give back to you, because God may have your blessing down the road coming from someone else.
Oh, wow.
And you're expecting the person that you did for it to give back to you, and they may not be in a spiritual place, a
Come
mental
on
place,
here.
or an
Come on
emotional
here.
place
Come on here.
to give back to you.
Yes.
So he said, leave it where it is, and that taught me something. So now it teaches me to give with no expectation.
Wow, wow.
Not coming from them, but my expectation is to come from God. And he said, love with your heart and not from your emotions.
Ooh.
That's difficult, but
I mean that's rich right there. Yeah, and that
spiritually.
shows growth, because a lot of times we give, and we've all been guilty of that.
Yes.
And a lot of people, I'm just gonna say, we've all been guilty of having that prideful thing.
Yes.
That say, okay, I have a sense of entitlement.
Yes.
I've given my love. I've opened up things to you.
Yes.
Right, and you're very ungrateful.
Yes.
Yeah. And that make it in the flesh. Come on, have a attitude, which we don't want to talk about having an attitude about giving and like you say, extending your love.
Absolutely.
Opening up your home, and somebody is ungrateful.
Absolutely.
But when you think about it, as you grow spiritual, like you said, which is very, very a good point that we all should be able to learn and grow from, is a simple fact that when on this side right now where
Yes.
we are,
Absolutely.
if you give unto somebody, you're giving because of your love
Yes.
for God. You want to be a blessing to somebody else, and you're not expecting something in return.
True.
Because your investment
Yes.
is your eternal inheritance.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh my God. You done said a mouthful there. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, that pure motive.
the
It should be pure.
Oh my God.
It should be pure. What I do for you shouldn't have anything attached to it. What I'm going to get back. What my expectation is, even from God. I should just do it.
Now, see, you about to open up something there,
Just
sis.
because.
You about to open up something. You about to open up something. You about to open up something. Listen, we dialogue. You know, this transparency. This
Yes.
my sis. This is her book, right? Love Made Me Wait. But y'all know your girl. I like the fellowship. I like to talk. I like to get down to, because that's what transparency is all
Yes.
about. You know, and things happen and affect us in so many ways, emotionally, spiritually, you name it.
Always.
And look,
Every place in life.
she's a minister of the gospel, y'all. So I got somebody who can be transparent to hang out with, and you know, we just chopping it up. That's what transparency is all about. And sis, I want to tell you this. I really celebrate what God is doing in your life, because when God blesses someone to even write a book, that's a gift from God even in itself. And it is to impact and change the lives or dynamics of somebody else other than yourself.
Absolutely.
So my question to you, in writing and putting all your heart into this book, what is the greatest impact that you would like to see happen through the writing of this book to change lives for people?
Being a woman, of
Wow.
course, more women are probably going to be able to connect, and I'm sure that men will be able to too, also, because of heartbreak.
Yeah.
But you know, women, a lot of times we deal with life and things, hurt and pain from our emotions. We become bitter and angry. But I want them to know is you can be broken. There's a scripture that says, but not destroyed.
Come on, yeah.
And sometimes life is shattered in so many pieces.
Yes.
But I want them to know that God is just so masterful. He really, really is. And he has the ability, no matter how messed up your life is,
Wow.
he can put it back together again.
Wow.
It may not happen when you want, hence love made me wait. But I promise you he can.
Wow.
And he will. But it's about us wanting it. Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be whole? And so I want the woman to know, yeah, it may hurt. It is going to. It's called life. It happens. But I promise you, you don't have to stay there. There's healing and it's available to you.
What were some of the processes that the Lord allowed you to go through to walk through a place of healing? Because a lot of times, and I'm telling you, when God gave me transparency, a lot of times what happened, the reason why we can't get healed from our broken places is because we're not transparent enough to say, this hurt me.
Absolutely.
I didn't like the way this felt to me. Because we, as women, we've been, and even men, but we talking about some women
Absolutely.
things going on. We nurture.
Yes.
We have to be the strong one.
Absolutely.
We have to smile even when it hurt.
Yes.
In other words, we have to fake it to make it.
Yes, we do.
Right? and I've just come to a point, I don't know about you, but I know through writing, you come to a point now, I'm not going to fake it.
No.
I have a story to tell.
Absolutely.
And I need to see other people, when they look at me, what do they see?
Yes.
Do they still see me in a broken place? Or do they see me in a place that I've overcome every opposition that has come into my life to make me the woman that I am today?
Yes.
Talk about it.
Yes. The first thing is, when I went through this broken place, I wasn't so much angry at my ex-husband. I was. But because I was a Christian, I had this expectation of God to fix it.
Wow.
You need to do this. And when he didn't, I was angry at God. And I don't think that people tell the truth about how they feel about the things that God allows in their life.
Come on.
And this is the thing that he allowed. He is God. And at one point, I talked to God and I told him, I said, why would you allow this to happen to me? I fasted. I prayed. Listen to me. I'm telling him what I've done.
Wow.
I'm telling him what I've done. I prayed. I know that I'm not perfect. I know that I've made some mistakes. But why would you allow this to happen to me? And I was so angry with God. I said, because you could have done it.
Wow.
And you chose not to. Why would you do that to me?
Wow.
This is me.
Wow.
And I don't think that people are really honest about how they feel.
That's true.
About things
That's true.
that God allows. And I even had a minister to tell me that I was being disrespectful by telling God how I felt. And I said, well, he knows my thoughts. That's what the word says. He knows my He knows my uprising and my down sitting. So for me to just let it fester on the inside and not talk about it, why?
Wow.
So I'm going to articulate this thing to him about what it is that I'm feeling. And I think that is different for me because I'm very honest to God about where I am. And most people just aren't. They think about it, but they don't talk about it.
They don't want to tell that it hurt. They were mad. They was angry.
And I was angry.
And I can relate to what you're saying because I remember, thank God, I mean, I'm still married.
Yes.
You know, but it ain't always been easy.
See?
And a lot of people don't want to be transparent about there were things, sometimes my husband said hurtful things to me.
Yes.
And I said hurtful things to him.
Yes.
But as a woman, it's like they may get over it, but with us, because we this heart thing and we love with everything that we got. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have that unconditional. It kind of hits a little bit differently.
Yes.
And so I was like, Lord, why did you give me this man?
See?
You know, but people ain't going to be, they not going to be honest about that.
True.
You know, when we went through those tough times and, you know, heated fellowship and I didn't like him and, you know, hate is a strong word, but I had to repent and ask God forgiveness because I went through a phase and I'm like, okay,
but it's true.
I cannot stand this man. Okay? Now, let me put this disclaimer out there. I love Mr. Sherman today. Okay? But there was a day
Yes.
that I had, right there.
I understand.
We talking about transparency.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's the problem. People can't get healed because we have all kinds of marriage conferences, single conferences, conferences, and it's like nobody want to tell their real truth.
They don't.
And that's why people can't get healed because we don't want to tell our real truth. So I confess, at one point I did not like the man.
Absolutely.
And I questioned God too. Yeah, I did. Did you? You gave me this
You
man.
sure?
Are you sure about this here?
Yes.
So yeah, but love
Yes.
conquered some things.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't an easy journey.
It wasn't.
And so I'm glad that you're here, that you're sharing your truth because you once were married and now you're not. So does life end for you?
It does not.
Come on, talk to him. Talk to him, sis. Talk to him.
It does not end. I think, I know that God was taking me through processes in my life. I remember asking God, what am I supposed to do without him? Talking about the man. What am I supposed to do without him? Because, we had been together for 18 years, which is a long time.
Long time, yeah.
And what am I supposed to do without him? But it wasn't the man that I couldn't do without. It was God. And God was trying to show me that. And through those series of processes and things that God allowed in my life, what God was trying to do was give me this solid relationship with him.
Wow.
It was not about the marriage. It was about me and God in the end. Because that's the only thing that matters. That's all that matters.
You saying something there?
Yeah, he was processing me, and I learned now in life that there's laughter after pain.
All right.
There's love after pain.
What I don't want to get in trouble for them just saying after the pain.
Absolutely.
What Betty Wright say?
That's what she said. After.
Look. After the pain. I'm just using that little phrase from Betty Wright. After the pain. All right. In other words, she say life goes on after the pain. That's the part I took from it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Jesus paid it all. He loves me. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you how I love you.
Oh, she can sing a little bit over
than
there.
anything.
Absolutely, we love him more than anything.
Oh, yes! I love you, Jesus. Woo!
Yes.
Talk about it.
Yes, and God has, I tell people now that Michelle is the best version of herself.
What you say?
Ever been. Because God pulled off some of those layers, and he's pulled them off, and he's constantly pouring in. So this woman that you see, this vessel, it's a vessel that he made all over again. I heard a pastor preach one time, and he talked about the potter and how he broke that vessel. But he said he broke it, but he used the same clay, so the clay was still good. Come on here. He said the clay was still good. He didn't throw it away. He just broke it. And we shaped it.
Come on here.
That's what God did to me. He didn't discard me. He didn't condemn me.
What you say?
That's what he did. So he just said, you know what? I'm just going to make her all over again. I'm going to put her in some fire. And I'm going to make her pliable. And that's what he did. So he shaped me and molded me. So this is the vessel that you see is yielded. So come what may, I'm going to follow Jesus.
Oh, baby, it's getting hot in here. Over in the Holy Ghost, y'all. Y'all thought I was going to go there with some other stuff, didn't you? They got threw off for a minute, sis.
Yeah,
they thought because I had threw Betty right now. They thought I was going to mess up Sunday morning. All right. Baby. It's real deep, real spiritual here.
It's okay. We got balance.
We got balance.
We have
now,
balance.
high five. Because when people see people ain't learned how to have a balanced life,
Absolutely.
And just love on God for who He is in your life.
Yes.
Listen, we all can help some people by being transparent
Yes.
with our lives and quit, just acting like every day is honky dory, and you don't have no days that you want to just throw in the towel. You don't have no days that you say, God, what in the world is going on in my life right now? Hold up, wait a minute. But what I love about what you keep going back to is the fact that all that you've been through, you still keep going back to God making you and molding you. And you said something key about being a vessel, because on the reason why I started laughing, because on my way here, that song, I'm a vessel full of power.
Yes, Lord.
Kathy Taylor was singing it, but a shout out, R.I.P. to my cousin. I started crying. Dr. LaTonya Earl, R.I.P. If y'all know Dr. LaTonya Earl, that's my cousin. Rest in peace. She used to sing that song. And it was one of my favorite songs that I would love to hear her minister. And so when I was coming on my way here today, that's probably why you see me when I was getting out of the car, I was counting, and my big sis, Pastor Deborah, she went on up, started praying, because that thing there was something else. It probably yours, but that's all right. That's just rain, rain, rain. We in the vein. Cuz, you just smiling down?
Smile, Lord. Let me take that
All
out.
right. Look, y'all, this is amazing. But anyway, it really, 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 really blessed me, because it made me think about the treasures that God has placed on the inside of each and every one of us to be vessels, to be used by Him to make a great impact in the lives of others other than ourselves. And so with my sister being here, like I say, let me tell y'all something. We gonna give you the information, honey, so you can get this book, okay? Yes. Love Made Me Wait. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Love Made Me Wait by author Michelle Elise Drew. We just been sharing a few things to be a blessing, and she speaks to women. So if y'all need her to come out and talk to a few women and tell her story, uplift, be impactful to some women, you can get in contact with her. We'll have all that information for you. So that you can get in contact with her. I'm excited about her life journey. Listen, I celebrate women. We have to do more of that, of celebrating one another, a great milestone. I've been knowing her for years. So to be sitting on a platform with her this morning, talking about what God is now doing in her life to make a major impact, because I don't consider this minor. I consider this major, and I'm going to tell you why. Anytime that God is using us as a vessel to make an impact in the lives of somebody else other than ourselves, that's something major, because God's hand is upon what you are doing.
Yes.
What are some nuggets that you can give to us as women to strengthen us? Because you went through that process, and you had your questions to God about why and all of that. And so right now God has you in a position, even though that chapter of your life is over.
Absolutely.
He gave you a new chapter. So from the new place that God has you in, what would you tell them about the new Michelle?
You
wasn't ready for that one, huh?
This new person, the relationship with God, I will definitely say is solid. It won't be shaken because God has proved to me that He is God and His love for me. During the time, I'll go back to while I was writing the book, the Lord actually took me off my job.
Wow, talk about that.
He had told me probably about a year before. I was at a service and went up for prayer, actually going up for my mom. And I recorded the service that day because there was a guest speaker. So I still have this on tape on my phone.
Wow.
And when it was in September of 2021, and I went up, and when I stepped up front, the lady that was there that was praying, she said, "Are you still working?" I didn't even get a chance to tell her about my mom.
Wow.
And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, you're not going to be, because when you stepped up here, I saw the word unemployment written across your chest."
Wow.
The Lord said, "You are not going to be on that job." Now, I've been on the job for years.
Wow.
And she said, "But you're not just going to be at home doing nothing." She said, "I see two things. I'm looking at the cover of this book," is what she says.
Wow.
"And the Lord says that you have to write because you've been putting it off for way too long."
Wow.
Now, I knew that I was supposed to write. I've been journaling for years, just hadn't done it. You know how we do. Procrastination,
Oh, yeah.
I promise you, people.
Oh, yeah.
That's men and women. It is not your friend. And because I had not obeyed, the Lord took me off my job. So
Wow.
This was destiny. This wasn't something that Michelle just wanted to do. This was something that Michelle had to do.
Wow. You helping some people already.
Absolutely. I had to do it. And that was September. In February of 2022, he spoke to me one day and told me to take all my things home from work off my desk, all my personal things. I packed them, took them home. In June of 2022, they fired me. And I was upset with God about how He did it, but I knew He was going to do it. I knew that I would not be there.
What did you say again?
I was upset about how He did it.
Uh-huh.
But I already knew that I was not going to be there because He started dealing with me after I got the word. I'm not going to be at this job. But I was upset again with the Lord.
Help somebody. Help somebody.
How He did it. I was like, "God, you could have let me put in a 2-week notice. You could have let me." But He spoke to me and He said, "Daughter, had I let you quit when things got tough during this time, you would have went back and they would have hired you. I made sure that door was slammed closed so you could do what I said."
Look.
And for 9 months, I was off work. And
He was what?
He made sure 9 months. He was good. He was faithful.
He was Jehovah what?
He was Jehovah Jireh.
You don't hit. Yeah, listen. Listen.
Provision.
Listen. Go ahead on, sis.
Didn't go without a thing. My children didn't even know. I have 3 sons. They didn't even know I was unemployed. I did not tell them. Every time something happened, I went to the Lord. I got in my closet, literal closet, and said, "You brought me here. You said I had to do this, and I need you to make a way." And when I say God showed up, every single time He provided for me. And when I went back to work, He did it big.
You don't hear me?
The money, big. He did it. When I say He did it big.
He did what?
He did it big.
He did what?
He made a promise and He kept it. And then even after I finished writing the book, I held on to it for about 5 months before I even released it. And the Lord kept saying, "I need you to do this." My publisher reached out, said, "Michelle, what are you doing? You're holding on to it." Because why? Fear, rejection. How are people going to perceive me reading my story?
We can't miss God because of people's perception.
I know.
We cannot miss God because of other people's perception of how they're going to think and feel and all of that. we just ain't gonna be able to do it. You ain't gonna be able to
Yes.
do it.
Yes, and so I struggled, and even Pastor Deborah, I met her during the time when I was off from work.
Yeah.
First time we met, I met her at a revival. And
Love
during
her.
that time, we were sitting at a table. It was me, her, and a friend of mine from New Orleans. And while we were sitting there, she said, "Why do I keep seeing these books around you?" And I was writing at the time. That was probably like October, November, and I'd been off since June. And she said,
Wow.
"I'm looking at these books."
Wow.
And my friend said, "Yeah, she's writing." And I said, "Yeah, I'm writing." She said, "Well, the Lord is really, really going to bless you with these books. I'm looking at them." So during that time, the Lord kept confirming and reaffirming that where I was, because sometimes when God does something, we struggle. Am I in the right place?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was this really the Lord?
Yeah.
Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
But he kept showing up, reaffirming. I would get word. I would go places and people would say, "I see these books. I see this. I see that." And God just kept confirming that where I was in my life, I was in his will. I wasn't outside of it, even though it didn't feel like it. Or somebody would say, "Oh, they fired you. That's not the Lord." Yes, it was the Lord.
Because he had a greater
Plan. Yes. Yes.
He had a greater plan.
Yes.
And people have to realize, sis, that when God has a greater plan for your life, I sooner or later I'm gonna write this book, Downsize to Upgrade.
Yep.
He
What she
gave
said?
it to me. He gave it to me, Downsize to Upgrade.
My
And when I
God.
told my big brother that, now look, y'all don't take it, don't take
You
it.
better copyright your stuff.
Let me copyright. Let me take that back. Dr. Yo. Let me go and put this disclaimer out there because I've already started writing it.
See?
Downsize to upgrade. All right?
And
Let
I'm
me make
here.
sure I put that out there.
And what's today?
And what's today? Today is what?
May the 19th,
2024.
2024.
Okay. So we done stamped and sealed it already. Right? So don't be, that right there.
Trying to take this stuff.
That right there. Because sometimes we don't realize the downsizing is truly an upgrade.
Absolutely.
And I was telling my brother that I was sharing with him, and he was like, wow. I'm like, at this point, when you look at all the things that happen in your life, that's a downgrade.
It was.
You understand what I'm saying?
Natural.
But when you look at things from a spiritual stance,
Yes, Lord.
because you allow God to take you through the process of the downgrade,
Yes.
the upgrade.
See? The upgrade. What he's about to do that I haven't seen yet.
And you say the pay was what?
When I say he did it big.
And then you said that you didn't miss a beat.
I
Your
didn't miss.
children, they thought you were still what?
They thought I was still working until my book launch when I made the announcement in December. And I had been back to work and had planned this book launch. And when I made that announcement, say my sons didn't even know. My baby boy was like, "What? What just happened? Mom, you was what?" And I had been back to work then like 6 months.
But see, here's the deal. How many people, sis, will honestly allow God
That.
to take that process in their life to allow him to fully manifest
Yes, Lord.
what he wants to do in your future life? Not then, because it's like we gotta see it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bible tells us about walking by faith and not by sight.
That's it.
You know, and you say that he was Jehovah Jireh. He was your provider
The whole time.
the whole time in the midst of everything that you were being processed through.
Absolutely.
Wow.
He stepped up, and I mean, he was a good father. I didn't miss anything. Nothing. When I say nothing, I still shot.
Transparency,
He still made a way.
real life,
Real life. God.
circumstances.
did all of that. I didn't miss anything. I still have my car. I still have my place. I didn't miss anything. Even bought a new sofa during that time while I was off from work. The one that I really wanted before. Yeah. He allowed me to get it. And
but she took care of
that. Absolutely.
his business.
Yes.
You know, when God, a lot of times we don't understand the journey of the road.
True.
Because there's sometimes on the road called life circumstances can have a detour.
True.
Right? And we don't like the detours or the roadblocks.
We don't.
That come in the way before the crooked just get all the way straight.
Right.
And so life circumstances are those transparent moments that we talking about right now.
Yes.
Because when God, I getting ready to come back in the radio, and you know I had been on the radio and the TV and getting ready to come back into full circle. So I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
I can relate to it in so many different ways, and I was like, okay, I've done this already. You know, God, is this really what you want me to do? If it is, you know, because sometimes we can get out of the will of God.
True.
Or the time of God,
yes.
You know. And at one point, this may be the high peak of what we call our journey, and then something happened called life circumstances and make you think maybe I should not go back and do this.
Yes.
Right? And so looking at your journey, that happened, but because it was God's divine plan and will for your life, he was like, either you gonna do what I told you to do, or I'm getting ready to start shutting stuff down.
That's it.
And you're gonna do it one way or another.
Absolutely.
And going through that process, how did that make you feel?
Because he had given me a word before, and he had begun to deal with me that I was going to be off work. I understand that my faith, that was something that God was trying to do, increase my faith. And I never was afraid during that time. I don't know. He did. I was in such another place spiritually, so it was not a flesh or a natural journey for me. It really, really wasn't. Every time I felt like it was pressure, I went to God and I said, "You are my Father. I have no one else. You are all I have.
You're helping somebody.
And God, if you don't do it for me,
it
won't be done. You spoke the word and you put me here. This is your plan. This is destiny. This is your thought for me. This is your reason. This is your purpose. And I have got to walk this out. And I want to do it. And I need you to help me. This place where I'm weak, I need you to be my strength. I can't do it on my own." And every time I felt the pressure, that's where I went, in my closet. And God did that thing for me. And I know it was the Lord. And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my children. I could have gone and asked. I didn't do it.
So you took this walk with God all the way, and that's so amazing, because a lot of times our faith is being tested.
Yes.
Our emotions, come on here,
yes,
are being tested.
Yes.
We got all these mixed things going on in our mind and even in our heart.
Yes.
You know, because life circumstances can sometimes be painful. It hit the heart, you know, and how do you bounce back from that? And so what I'm getting out of everything that you walked through is your love for God and his love for you allowed you to walk through some of the most challenging times in your life to become the vessel that God has made you to be right now. We don't want to be molded. We want to mold, but we don't want God to mold us. And to me, when God molds us, that's the best molding we could ever get, because those places, nobody can put us back together like the Father. And so, as your sister, I commend you. I honor you. I respect what God is doing in your life, because you're going to impact so many lives of so many people, because you are taking a stand. And that's what's needed now. I preached a message about flipping over some tables. Yeah. Because it's time for us to flip over some tables. You're going to flip over tables in a good way. Now, when we use the parable of Jesus flipping over the tables because they were in the house of prayer, trying to do the swap meet.
Yeah.
And Jesus said, I'm not having that.
Yes.
But how about we start flipping over tables for change to impact the lives of other women and other people?
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? For change, for better. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? And what you're doing is going to flip over some tables for change. And that's what's needed. And sis, continue to hold your head up. Walk high in your authority that God has given your life. Because let me tell you something. There are so many people coming behind you that we have to be forerunners.
True.
And so now God, even with this book, God is making you a forerunner for the lives of so many women. Can you see them? They're divorced. They're single.
Yes.
But life ain't over.
It's not.
And your faith in God can show them, yes, this was a pivotal moment in my life.
Yes, Lord.
But can you see me now?
Can you see me now? Absolutely.
That's what it's saying. Can you see who the Lord has allowed me to become?
Yes.
Because of this. You're a writer. You're an author. How many people can say they're able to write something that's going to be impactful for somebody else's life to change?
True.
We can't be selfish. We cannot be selfish. And I'm having a transparent moment because I didn't see myself back on TV. I didn't see myself back in the radio. I really thought it was over for me. Honestly.
I hear you.
And I remember my sister, Pastor D. Love her. She said, no, it ain't over for you yet. She kept saying, when you going to get back to what you supposed to be doing?
Yes.
What God called you
Your
to do.
place.
And I remember when my brother heard, she's a widow now, my brother, when he gave me an opportunity to mount the platform for radio and TV, I said, I can't do this. I don't even have the speech, the language, the any of this for this.
I hear you.
I'm not qualified for this. I got a big mouth, but this ain't it. Who gonna listen to me? This is what I said. And he said, sis, you're unique.
That's it.
Why am I telling you this story? Because Michelle Elisa Drew, my sister, you are unique. It doesn't matter how many people are writing books, how many people are speaking to women. There is an audience out there that God is called. Oh, Jesus. That he has called you to impact their lives.
I believe that.
And that's why I'm sitting here for my new beginning. I thought I was going to go back to breaking the chains and I was trying. He said, no.
New season.
He said, no. Transparency. Because I remember all I wanted people to do was be real about their life.
See? That's it.
And then God afforded me another chance and another platform that I won't be silenced. I have a voice. You have a voice to impact the lives of somebody else.
Yes.
And so this is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
I want to thank y'all for this time with my sister on Transparency with Dr. Yo. Do you have anything else before we go off air that you would like to tell the people, the women, people, period, that would impact their lives?
I'd just like to say to all of you that are listening, if you have, and we all have at some point experienced pain in a broken relationship, don't allow that place to hold you hostage. There is freedom for you. Allow God to come in and be honest with God about where you are, how you feel. I promise you that He's listening. He wants to heal you. He is Jehovah Rapha. He is the God that heals. He will restore. He is not short of His word. All He wants is for us to call Him. And I promise you He'll show up. The thing that He did for me, He will definitely do for you. And I love Him so much. And I appreciate Him so much for what He has done in my life. I am, again, available to come and talk to you about this book. I'd love for you to read it. It is available on Amazon. However, I do have copies of the book. If you'd like, you can reach out to me on Facebook. But more than anything, I want to see my sisters heal. That's what I want. And so does God.
All right. Well, that's our time. This is another episode of Transparency with Dr. Yo. We are illuminating, right? Truth. And guess what? This is the place. Forever Rhema Gospel Radio. You continue to tune in 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Sunday morning. Again, this your girl, Dr. Yo. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. May you be blessed. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Thanks again for tuning in. All right? Love you guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.